Alright, welcome back to ESA Winter 2021. We're raising money for Alzheimer Fonden, and you can find the links to donate below the stream. Thanks to Koei Tecmo Europe, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. But now, it's time for Hibnotix running Knuckles Chaotix. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, thank you Josh. I'm going to be, this is probably the smallest block that we're ever going to have, but for the not Sonic block, so I'm going to be rocking Charmy and whoever won the bid war. I'm going to leave that until we have to decide and find out. And Flying Fox afterwards will be running Sonic CD with Tails, so Sonic gets too much credit. We reckon that some of the other guys have got to take the limelight. But before I get into this game, this isn't like any other Sega platformer. So I've got a very glamorous assistant behind me who's going to help me explain the physics of this game a little bit. And one-up Gruntmeister. He did have his dog during his run, but this one's actually going to help me. Smidgy, come on here. Come on here. So, everybody, say hello to Smidget. She's going to help us explain the physics. So in this game, we have two characters, and they are tethered to each other. So I've popped a lead on the dog, and to simplify things, for example, if she wanted to run away now, she wouldn't be able to because I'd be able to stand my ground, and she is connected to me as such. But if I wanted to run away, I'd end up dragging her across the ground. So there's going to be a lot of this sort of physics going on in this game. You can see in the auto demo how it works a little bit. You can tell that she obviously doesn't want to be here, so we're going to let her go. She's done a very good job of explaining what happens, and maybe we'll see her some other time during it. So I'm just going to let her go out the door because she's not a gamer. She's not a speedrunner. So go on, how'd you get?
I was always taught to never work with animals live, but that went great. Well done.
Yes, I think but my window overlooks neighbours, and she quite likes to bark at them. So I'm glad that we didn't have any drama with that. So if somebody is ready on the timer, we are going to get underway very shortly.
Yep, we're all ready.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So Knuckles Chaotix, it's definitely a game. If we think about the classic era sort of Sega platformers with anthropomorphic animals, you might think, oh, all of the lovely Sonic games. But you've got to remember that this is a game that was supposed to make good use of the 32X, a add-on for the Genesis, which the Sega advertising campaign for it was a little risque, and I am going to, yes, I'll probably not go any further on that. You can have a look for yourself, but it was a little device that went into the top of the cartridge and gave it just a little more power, so it can produce these lovely colors and this lovely music. So as you can see, we are using the physics that we mentioned earlier. We are using a hold mechanic, which means that the character that I'm not controlling, which is SBO, can hold their ground, and we can use that momentum to sort of fling ourselves around the map. So we're going to use another bit of this physics with a hold mechanic. So if I get it right, we can throw each other up, and if we press hold at the right time, we find ourselves where we need to be. So again, using the hold mechanic, building up speed, getting through where we need to be, and making our way through this introduction level. You better enjoy Knuckles and SBO whilst you can, because we're going to have a character switch not too long from now, and the game becomes a little more trivial. This is probably as hard as the game gets. The introduction levels, at least hard in terms of doing it fast. So you're going to quickly realise that Knuckles Chaotix maps are much more vertically based than some of the other titles, and you'll see why. You think with the physics they'd try and maintain the rather linear nature, the rather like going from side to side like other Sonic games, but no, obviously not. Sega decided to go on a mad one and make their levels very, very vertically based. So if we get some more flings up here, not going particularly well. I'm going to blame input lag because I'm running on emulator and I usually run on hardware, but as is marathon fashion, it did not want to cooperate today, so... Oh no, so we have just hit a box that changes our main character to SBO, who hopefully should be able to get the job done up here. We hope. It's going to be a slow tutorial, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, it looks like we're about to switch characters, so we'll be back with Knuckles, and hopefully getting up here. Okay, we're gonna take the easy way out here. We're just gonna climb up because we've spent enough time trying to fling ourselves up to the next level. And then these are a little more easier. These ones, oh, of course I get it there after trying for so long. So, Josh, do we have a status on the bid war on who I'm going to be subjecting to motion sickness for this run?
All right, I shall do a refresh. Currently, Mighty the Armadillo is winning with $32.50.
Brilliant. Mighty is the optimal character for a speedrun, so hopefully we can pick him first time. This is the first case of RNG that we get in this game, and this game's middle name is RNG, so instead of getting Mighty, we got Bomb, who is one of the clown characters of this game, so if he gets hit once, he is going to explode, which is not ideal, but when we get back to the combi catcher, we will try and pick Mighty again. This is the second case of RNG, so the stage order is completely random. We could get any stage at any time. Each sort of location has 5 stages each. And yeah, so this is Techno Tower 1. And again, I mean, it's got the name Tower, so the the reports of very vertically based levels are very true. So when I talked about subjecting the partner character to motion sickness, this is what I meant, because Charmy, our main character, is just an absolute specimen of an animal. He can just fly around the stages easy as you like, and that was Techno Tower 1 done. You should get used to these levels not taking very long. That was 20 seconds. We'll see some stages done in, if we're lucky, about 12 seconds or so. Hopefully. So, right. We have another chance at the combi catcher. We're going to get rid of Bomb because we do not want Bomb. Let's see, where's Mighty? There we go. We got Mighty. Brilliant. So we have a second chance to get a better character, and we got a better character that we wanted. So that is all grand. Let's see which zone we get next. Quite often, we have moments where we get a couple of zones consecutively. So we might get Techno Tower again. No, instead we get Marina Madness. Now, everybody, I hope I'm going to believe that the audio is mixed very well, because Marina Madness has one of the best tracks in classic Sonic, I reckon. Although I don't think we quite class this as Sonic. So if you've got headphones on, or even shamelessly, even if you're on loudspeakers and you've got people around you, you've got to listen to this track, and I've got to let you listen to it. And I've got Blue Knuckles, because why not? I hope you enjoy that soundtrack, because it's finished.
I was going to say, you said that like 12 seconds.
So, we'll have a bit more time in the other stages, so you'll get a bit more time.
Okay. Speaking of time, do we have it for donations?
We do indeed.
Okay, that was a great segue, I'd like to say. All right. Thank you. How do I say this? Hibbert Hingston Joy for $10. They say, Buzz, happy birthday. I hope that means something to you.
It does indeed. It does indeed.
Okay, fantastic. And they put then $10 towards Knuckles, for who we drag along for the ride. And then we got $5 from Proto Sonic, who put it towards Mighty the Armadillo.
Oh, Proto knows. So Proto's another runner of this game. He runs a different category to this one. So, like a lot of Sonic games, I know, dare I mention his name, we have the option of getting good endings in this game. So there are Chaos Rings, and I'm not much of a special stage aficionado, so I don't really go for that sort of category, but it's interesting. Those sort of categories are definitely interesting, if I can give them any credit. And the special stages take better use of the power of the 32x than the rest of the game. So we are going to use these springs. There is also one thing that you will have noticed from the difference in this Techno Tower and the previous one is that we have different times of day. And yes, believe it or not, that is another case of RNG. So you'll never get the same... well, I say never. The chances of getting a same combination in runs is incredibly, incredibly unlikely. So yeah, trying to get a world record in this game is very much a patience game. You've got to wait until everything's in your favor and you get some good execution, which we haven't got so far, but maybe the next couple of levels will clear up. Let's see what we get next. You might get more time to listen to this track, but we are going to do our first instance of clipping. So the solidity of Sonic levels has always been questioned, and hopefully we are going to fully question it here. So I'm going to let the music play a little bit so you can listen to it. We're trying to get through this slope. If we don't, we can skip it. There we go. Hey, very nicely done. If I do say so myself. So now we just want to go up and then along. And one thing that I haven't explained yet is our minus ring count. So the reason that we have minus rings at the end of every level, if you just watch the countdown here, it only goes down by minus 100. So if we don't have a secret bonus when we're ending a level and we have minus rings, the countdown goes down incredibly quickly. And because this game is timed off real time, it is very, very useful to get rid of your character when you can. So there is a method to the madness. There is a reason why I press A, which the A button sort of flings the character away, and in turn gets rid of 10 rings so that we can get that countdown to as short as we want it to be. I can't even see what stage we went into next. I believe it's Techno Tower 3. Sounds like Techno Tower 3 to me. So again, you'll see a lot of themes, sort of repeating themes in these levels. So this is the go up and then right level, I guess, to simplify things. And there's a little bit of maneuvering that we've got to do in this section. But because it's 3, we have to go back on ourselves over to the left. And there is that. Is there anything that you'd like to say as we go to the next stage, Josh?
Sure, I could tell you a short bit about the prizes we have available. If you haven't had a look, we have 2 monitors from ViewSonic available for donations, for prizes, with a minimum donation of $25 for one and $35 for the other. How much more time do you got? Should I go more? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, this is the part where I've got to try to make monitor names sound appealing and sexy, so here we go.
Well, you said ViewSonic, and it's a non-Sonic block, so I'm sure you got some people's attention.
Okay, good. For a minimum donation of $25, you can be in the running for a ViewSonic Elite XG270, which has an estimated value of $400.
Ooh.
But for the minimum donation of $35, you can be in the running for a ViewSonic VX2758-2KP-MHD. I did my best.
Nice, you did. Great job.
Which is also valued around $400.
Very nice.
And yeah, just to quickly say that the minimum donations is your total donations across the entire event. So you could do like five times or whatever. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Very nice. Well, everybody get in the runnings for that. Why ever not? Why ever not? And again, that was another clip in Marina Madness. They save a little bit of time if you get them quickly, but we've sort of been floundering a little bit. So not particularly special times on those stages, but we might have some more sort of funky collision later on. Let's see. Be interesting to see what stage we get next. We've had Marina Madness, we've had Techno Tower a lot. I don't think we've had any of the other stages yet, so be interesting to see what those can offer. Speaking of which, we're on a new stage. This is Botanic. Pardon me. This is Botanic Base. So we are going to be wanting to go quickly again, but these have a little more of a maze feel to them. At least the second to the fifth level is a little more challenging. The first one is rather straightforward, and hopefully we can be clipping through here. No, not quite. So that slope that we just went past, you can go through, but it's a little bit boisterous. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But again, 15-second times, we love to see them. And those minus rings make our countdown go just like that. So going smoothly so far. We believe the reason for this, for Knuckles being the center of attention, because I'm gonna hit you with some lore. The beta for this game was called Sonic Crackers, and it featured Sonic and Tails with a similar mechanic to what we're using now with the tether, but it was a beta, so it was very much not functioning as you'd expect it to. So yeah, it was a little bit funky, but we believe Knuckles was the fall guy for this game. So if anything bad happened, people couldn't blame Sonic for it. So a case of the day and night RNG here. We got a Big Charmy. So Big Charmy is very, very useful because his flight intensity is greatly increased. So he didn't last for very long, but I think we've made good use of him. He helps us a lot in terms of going up and gaining a lot of space, getting a lot of ground. There we go, that's what I was going for. And we had a little elevator there that we skipped. Any of the elevators that we have to go down in Botanic Base, we do actually have to enter, and we don't have any elevator music, but I'm sure it's going around in your head if it's going to happen. But every elevator that goes up, we can skip. Like you've been seeing in Techno Tower, at the start of every Techno Tower, there's an elevator right at the end of the little runway that you have to start off with, and we can skip them by flying through them, which saves a lot of time because those elevators are just as slow as they should be. Speaking of elevators, we're back in Botanic Base 3. So this is where things get a little more mazy. We are going to be doing a little bit of backtracking and making sure we don't fall through particular parts of the level, as shown there. So if we go up and along here, then a lot of these platforms you can see we can go through, but again, a lot of them are very deceptive. A lot of platforms you'd think, oh, why can't I go through that? But this game likes to be cheeky. Another Big Charmy monitor here. And speaking of the elevators, here we are. These are ones that we can't skip unless we take an alternate route, which I'm looking into, which I believe might be faster. But at the moment, we are doing the most. We're trying to use Big Charmy how we can, and he has helped us get through this level very quickly. So we are going to be ending at about just under 42. Again, ending on minus rings makes our countdown very slow. So you might be wondering what the secret bonus is. That's on 0 at the moment. Every time we... Again, this is another case of RNG. So some boxes, if you hit them, they'll give you a secret bonus. But some boxes you can still hit and not get a secret bonus. So in that level, we ended up picking up a enlarger monitor, which makes Charmy bigger and the level overall faster. But in other stages, quite often you can find that you can get an enlarger box and it gives you a secret bonus, which means that your countdown is longer. So another stage. This is Botanic Base 4. We've had a couple of Botanic Bases in a row. This is quite fun. So this one, we have a giant open space where we go up here. We've got some nice ringage at the moment. Again, we don't want too much rings. Ooh, nice. And again, the the tether mechanic can be your best friend or your worst enemy. So quite often, Mighty will get jammed in places where he shouldn't be. Armadillos in spaces that they shouldn't be. So another case of elevator. It's, as far as elevator music goes, I think Botanic Base could be doing a whole lot worse. And yeah, I think the rest is fairly self-explanatory. If there's anything else that Josh wants to promote, any other donations?
Sure. I will quickly ask: are we keeping the donation, the bid war open?
Bid war's closed.
Closed, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. In that case, I will tell you about the next upcoming bid war for the next game, Sonic CD.
Yes.
You can choose between the soundtrack. The choices are Japanese and US, and I'm afraid to say that the Weebs have it with $105 right now.
Is US still on 0?
No, US is on $2.50. Right, so there's just a mere $103-ish to make up so that we can bark the Weebs away. The chat mods are gonna hate me. I should stop doing this. But get your donations in for that, and we can maybe change the soundtrack. I actually don't know what they sound like or anything, but
I'm very much of the opinion that they're just as good as each other. But I will join the crowd on this one and say that the best is the Japanese one.
Right.
In my opinion, I think they're both brilliant. But
could you have said the one that wasn't winning? Maybe
Hey, well, just. Everybody likes to be a little bit rebellious. Go against what I say, folks.
Okay, great.
What do I know? I'm playing Knuckles Chaotix. What do I know?
Okay, fantastic. All right, yeah. So yeah, thanks for that. Keep going.
So as you can see, stages are still happening very quickly. That was only just sub 20 seconds. Ideally on, I think almost every Techno Tower we want to be getting under 20 seconds. So let's see what stage we get next. I like the attention to detail in this game is, I say it's very impressive, and a lot of things that this game brought into the franchise were reused in other games, and Mania was one of them. The recent celebration of 2D Sonic, there are a lot of things that were taken from here, and it's just we've got Marina Madness again. It's just the music. The Sega 32X was supposed to bring 40 times the power of the original 16-bit Sega Genesis, and I feel like they probably could have done a little more on the graphics front to make it actually look like they spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, I think the music takes good advantage of the new chip. But as far as Sega 32X games go, very, very mediocre. There weren't really any particularly good ones. There was Virtua Racing, which did make very good use of the. Just gonna pause here. There we go. Did make very good use of the 3D power that the Genesis could bring, but it was too little, too late. And I believe the gap in Japan between the release of the 32X add-on for the Genesis and the Sega Saturn was less than a year. So in terms of console lifespans, it never really got the chance to breathe at all. That's like I don't know, if PlayStation made a version of the PlayStation 4 that was just as powerful as the PlayStation 5, but not making any barely making any exclusives for it, and then saying, here's the PS5, you can't play the games from the PS4 on it. I guess that's sort of a way of contextualizing it, but I think Sony have got a bit more brain power than Sega, especially Sega in the in the 90s. Because I think decision-wise, they had a bit of a mare with some of the games. So again, we want to use a big Charmy monitor here, and we want to collect as many rings along here as we can because we are on the 5th stage. And you might be wondering, hey, how come we haven't had any boss fights? Well, boy, are you in for a treat. We have finally reached our first boss fight. We are at the top of Techno Tower. We have our lovely sort of FMV type thing going on here. And we have to take down this boss. Some more funky music. So we've got to aim for the belly. But we don't want Mighty to get hit because we are on 0 rings. And lo and behold, Mighty got hit. So we want to play it safe for Charmy. I'm just going to wait for his arms to stop swinging. Okay, we've got Mighty back, which is nice. We're going to play it safe. But fairly straightforward boss. You just got to tap up at the right point, and yeah, it's rather straightforward. But that was Techno Tower's boss. And again, I'll admit, well, I haven't mentioned it already, but my personal opinions on this game are, number one, why does it exist? Because it never really had to be here. But in terms of looks, like the style of this game, it has a lot of charm, and I'm very much of the belief that if a game looks and sounds good, it can pass in my books. Gameplay can be second rate to me, but I know a lot of people who think much more rationally than I do. So, speaking of thinking rationally, and this game, level design. We've already touched on that topic quite a bit, but we're going to touch on it again for Speed Slider. So just watch what I do in this stage. There's a lot of notes to take in about how you do this stage. So notice how right at the start of the level I go up, and then I start going right. Then I want to make sure I'm on here. Just keep going right. And lo and behold, that is Speed Slider done. You better get used to that theme, because that is only the first Speed Slider, and all 5 of them, so that's 5, all 5 of them end up being a very similar theme. You start off doing a little wriggle at the start, and then just going straight to the end. Easy as you like. But let's see what time of day we are. We haven't had an amazing arena yet, which will be interesting when we finally get there. We know that we've had all of the Techno Towers to go. We've got one more Botanic Base to go. Quite often I model up which levels we're on. Lo and behold, we're in Amazing Arena 1. So if we are in daytime, brilliant, we're in daytime. So this is good RNG. So I was mentioning earlier that boxes and secret bonuses are sort of alternating depending on which box you hit. And we've got some good luck in this stage. So the requirement in Amazing Arena is that we have got to hit a light switch and then complete the level. And if we don't hit the light switch, we cannot complete the level at all. The game just says, no, we don't want any of your funny business here. We don't want any of these funky animals around this play park. So you have to go back and do the stage again. So this is the box that I was talking about. Go straight into an enemy, lovely. So we move along, and he makes this very, very trivial. Now, I did mention, I just sort of touched on it a little bit about why these animals are here. So, I believe most of them. So I think Knuckles' purpose for being here was something relating to Angel Island, and this was built very near his home, so he wanted to check out what was going on. I believe quite a lot of I think Charmy went there for pleasure, because this is supposed to be a amusement park of some sort, but I don't know who makes an amusement park like this. And lo and behold, in the Japanese manual, which I cashed out and got the original cartridge for this game. Lo and behold, Vector's motivations for being in this part of the Sonic universe was for spiritual reasons. He was looking for something spiritual. So read into that what you will, but that might imply that there is a hedgehog Jesus of some sort, or maybe a different animal, maybe Jesus the mongoose or something. So yes, you can pop that in your pipe and smoke it. Again, we've got to keep on going with our light switch antics, and we've got to take these very slow elevators. We saw one in the first stage, and because it is day, once again, we have a monitor that we can hit here, which makes Charmy nice and big and gets us to the end of that little section. Because that is very vertically based, it helps big time to have Charmy on our side to quickly dash through everything that we need him to. speaking of avoiding things and dashing through things, this is a mini boss room that we have just avoided because we don't want to fight a mini boss at all. Well, I don't at least. I want to try and make some time up for the initial embarrassing first couple of stages.
So when you said speaking of avoiding things, I thought you were trying to segue into me.
No, well, I mean, unless you've got something to say.
No,
Stage
that's
is
fine.
yours.
Oh, okay, sure. I can. Okay. Well, now I'm worried. Yeah, I'll
keep
just
talking if you want me to.
No, it's fine. But yeah, all goofs aside, we are actually raising money for an important cause this event. We're raising money for Alzheimerfonden, which is the Swedish national fundraising organization that focuses on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Its aim is to God, oh my god, you've really thrown me off now. Its aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of the scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. So yeah, it is a really good cause. I'm really happy we're raising money towards it. We're currently at $10,248. We managed to get 5 digits before I even turned up to the stream, so that's great. But let's keep on going and see how high we can get it. So yeah, thank you all for your donations, and yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah, come on, folks, let's keep going. Let's keep going again. A very. I mean, all of the stages become trivial, in some sense. When playing this blind, you will get lost. You will find yourself stuck in levels. You'll wonder why you can't get through Amazing Arena because you've got to get these light switches, these tedious light switches. And we find ourselves in another stage where we are going to finally have a boss fight. And you'll quickly realise that all of this build-up for a boss fight is rather sort of sad in the end because oh, okay, we're not going to go for that. There was a box down there which Mighty was about to get for us, but when our secondary character gets a enlarger monitor, it doesn't enlarge our character, it enlarges them. And that means that we've got a heavier Mighty to bonk around the stage, which is not my idea of fun, I'm not going to lie. So we will just avoid that this time round. And we want to, when it comes to the 5th stages of each level, we want to keep an eye on our rings and how we're doing on them, because we'd prefer not to go into the final boss with 2 fewer rings, because there's always a risk that we could game over. Actually, speaking of game over, we can't die as you. Well, it's interesting. So we have no life system. We have infinite lives. There is a save function in this game. If you caught the start, we had a save file, and in the case of losing rings and losing our partner, we end up going back to the hub world. So the stage that we were in stays uncompleted. So any other character, this boss would be absolutely dreadful. But because we've got Charmy, we can just spam this direction. We get the wedge, the good old Eggman wedge, and we are constantly registering hits whenever he's on either side. And that was the boss fight. So when it comes to the other characters, because their control in the air isn't quite as good as Charmy's, you'll find yourselves flinging yourself everywhere. And yeah, so again, another very trivial stage. But talking about the other characters, we talked about their motivations for being here very briefly. We should also talk about how they're unique, because they aren't all reskins of former characters. Apart from Mighty. Mighty is literally a reskin of Sonic. When it comes to the other characters, as we can see, Charmy has his infinite flight. He isn't as strong as the other characters, because yes, strength is a property in this game as well. We have Vector and Knuckles. Knuckles can do his signature gliding and his climbing, and he's strong, of course. And Vector, he has an in-air dash where he can go any direction, well, any of the 8 directions of the D-pad, and that can be quite useful. He can also climb up walls, quite like Knuckles. We have Mighty with us. He has a wall kick, which is very broken in this game, and I think he probably has the best spin dash out of all the characters. And there we go, there's another stage. Then SBA, he has, I think the special ability that he has is connecting to walls as a chameleon would, but he can also walk up them as if they were flat ground that you could stand on. So you can do just basic walking up walls and things, which is good fun. And then I think that's all of them, apart from the joke characters. So we had Bomb, whose special move is exploding. And then we have Heavy, whose special move is being heavy and slowing us down any way that he can, which is I'm glad that we didn't get him for the first stage. Bomb is definitely the lesser of two evils. He is still rather large, but yes. So another speed slider. This could potentially be the shortest stage of the run, so don't blink. So we've got to do our active going left, doing a little bit of wriggling, and then hopefully this will be a 14. There we go. 14 seconds. Lovely stuff. And that means that we are very close to having the boss in Speed Slider 4. And I believe we've got the bulk of Amazing Arena to go. And then I forget which levels I've got, where I am in the game. A way for you to gauge where you are in the game is to have a look at the board that we've just gone past. But we're too fast, so we don't, ain't nobody got time for that. So we've got Marina Madness as well, and lo and behold, I believe that we are on the final stage for Marina Madness. So again, we'll have a bit more time for the music, but we also have a trick in this stage where we can clip through a slope. Clip through a like a loop-de-loop. So in classic Sonic fashion, let's see if we can pull this off. So we want Mighty to go through this little slope, because the way the clipping into objects in this game works is that it will ping you up and right instead of like changing your coordinates. It will just send you straight through a wall. So that saves us, even though we spent quite a bit of time on that, that saves us having to use one of those switches on the boat to bring it up. And yeah, the rest of the stage is very much abuse this absolutely hench B to the end of the stage. And here we are at the boss for Marina Madness. So we get another lovely cutscene, and this is where you see the raw power of the 32X on display. Triangles, polygons. Just look at it. And in this stage of the fight, there is nothing that we can do. So at the moment, this is a tech demo, everybody. This is what Sega managed to do back in 1995. I hope you are impressed about how far they've come. How far we've all come in terms of graphics. So we want to get another wedge up here. So we want Mighty, we wanted Mighty on the underside of Eggman in that case. But instead, we're just going to use him like a wrecking ball. Instead, we used ourselves as a wrecking ball for a second there. But those funny polygons can hit us, but they're no match for an absolutely, as I said, an absolutely hench bee and a funky-looking armadillo. So there's level 5. I believe we've got 2 more bosses to go, and then we will be on to the final boss. So you'll find out who the true enemy was in all of this, whether it was Eggman or was it somebody else. We saw Metal Sonic right at the start, but does he have any further motivations? We will find out. But it is daytime in the hub world. We are making our way through to the level select. And what do we get next? It can be Amazing Arena or Speed Slider. It's Amazing Arena. So I believe we are on the 3rd level for Amazing Arena. Amazing Arena? Amazing Arena. They certainly like their alliteration back in the days, Sega. And in fact, Sonic CD, you'll find that later on with the Tidal Tempest, Collision Chaos, Quartz Quadrant. And speaking of alliteration, in Sonic games. Another one that has it is Sonic 3D Blast, and the Sonic speedrunning community very soon is going to be running a Sonic 3D Blast tournament. So if that's something that you might be interested in, if you enjoyed, it's not quite the same format to Break the Record Live, but we had Sonic Adventure on Break the Record Live not too long ago, and I think we very much like getting involved with that. I had an absolute blast commentating with people. Let's see, I think we go this way. So yeah, we have a Sonic 3D Blast tournament coming up. Everybody is welcome to watch. Anybody is welcome to participate. You'll need to have a run-in by a certain date though. So we're on Twitter if you want to check us out. And yeah, I hope you liked Pink, because that is a very pink stage. So I believe we have got, so that was the third Amazing Arena. We have got a boss to go in Speed Slider, and we've got 2 more stages in Amazing Arena to go. I find myself saying Amazing Arena a lot. It's getting a bit tedious. Right, let's see what's next. Speed Slider is my favourite stage, and we're getting it again. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chaotix. So, you've seen what the other bosses are like. You've try and visualize what you think a boss would look like in this stage. So there's a sort of circus theme. We have tents scattered around the stage. What could the theme possibly be? What could the boss be? I know the Techno Tower in one and Botanic Base didn't really leave much to the imagination in terms of what the boss could be, but we're entering it now. That is your hint. What could possibly be in store for us? If you close your eyes, the music will definitely tell you what it's going to be, because the music very much gives it away. So again, it's another case of destroying these power rings in the middle of the stage. I believe they're called power rings. And yeah, so we want to use Charmy's ridiculous flight ability to constantly mash into it. We want to avoid the spiky platforms, which we did. But it's just over a minute for that stage, which isn't too bad. Oh, running out of water. We've got to talk as fast as Charmy can fly and run. So, we've got 2 stages left. Let's see what time of day it is, with the RNG is on our side. I don't think we depend on RNG too much in Amazing Arena 4, so we should be safe for this stage. Let's see what happens. Oh no, what stage could it possibly be? I can't believe it. It's Amazing Arena. You might be wondering why some of the levels in that order, in that sort of monitor sequence, why they've got particular numbers and why one's got an X. All will be revealed later. So I was about to say after this ad break, but I definitely didn't mean that. So you have to take these very slow elevators again, and as we see, got to do a lot of moving up again. And this is our light switch for this level. But instead of going down that falling platform like we did in previous stages, we go up to another very slow elevator. And then we have another sequence where we go left and we go up. This time we hit a door switch, but we go in another elevator. And then we are moving across to, once again, go left, go up, but go right this time. And we are avoiding another mini boss room, because we'd only want that if we want rings, and we are not in a position where we could do with more rings. So I'm just going to see, there is a trick where you can get your partner to cross the line for you, and then you can be disappearing when the results come up. But it was not to be. So Amazing Arena 5 is going to be coming up. Another boss, and once again, one that doesn't really leave anything to the imagination in terms of what the boss fight could be. So I don't know if there are any creative minds in the chat. Then put down what you think this boss could be. You've seen a lot of clocks. Well, it shows the clock theme there. We've had a lot of light switches. It could be something to do with a light bulb. It could have something to do with maybe the stage being quite vertical. Maybe it's a boss that's very hard to reach. Yeah, I'd like to see what people can come up with, what they could possibly think this boss would be. But before we get there, it's still very much the same as the other levels, so we've got to be doing a lot of waiting in elevators and letting the game play itself for a little bit. But
that sounds like a good time for donations.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, wonderful. We got a lovely donation here from our very own Mod366, who donated $5 and said, "Since I was just reminded that it's actually Valentine's Day today, I want to say to everyone watching, sharing the stream and donating, as well as all ESA staff and volunteers, I love you for what you're doing. You are amazing. Money goes towards Nordic Soy being the most magnificent Magikarp in Pokemon Soul Silver history, and indeed, he did put it $5 towards naming the Magikarp in Soul Silver 80%.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Thanks, Mod. And just as someone who isn't single, I would just like to say Valentine's Day is as bad for me as it is for you. All right. Thanks.
Alright, so we are now at the boss fight. All of your ideas, they've come together. And we have our little presentation. The boss is about to start. It doesn't do the classic 3, 2, and then cut. But instead we have this thing. I'm not sure what it's trying to be. If it's trying to be anything. But it's picking up this little turret. We are going to do what we always do with Charmy. We are going to stay into the top corner. Those balls can hit us. We'd like to get another ring just to play it safe. We might get hit again. But if we just keep button mashing, we should be safe. There we go. So we have completed all of the stages, all of the stage bosses. We are now about to enter the final boss, where things get a little more intense. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. So we segue into the hub world. And then things will look a little bit different. They'll play out a little differently. So, nice sunset theme. We've cleared all of our stages. What's going to happen for us? Well, and hold on, I'm gonna let it play out. So we destroy the last monitor. Metal Sonic comes in. What business does he have here? Well, that little bumper that we've been using this whole time is going to be relevant once again, because to progress to the actual final boss, this feels like a final boss when we were trying to do a world record run for this game. So we've got to consistently hit the X button, which I used pause buffering for. I think we hit 3 in that situation. So now we've got to dodge a barrage of rockets, which we do nice and easy. But ideally we want to keep doing it at the right time. That might be on 4. No, we got lucky. So pause buffering makes this easier. If you're feeling extra spicy, you can try and do it without pause buffering, but I think we're going to play it safe here. I think that was on X. Very nice. And now we are on to the true final boss. So everything's fading out. More plot elements. We get cutscene. I think, what's going on? We have a big ring. What's Eggman doing with it? What's Robotnik doing with it? Middle Sonic's a little worse for wear. What could this possibly mean for us? Metal Sonic looks out for the count, doesn't he? He's very pensive flying away. But no! Good grief. We are approached by Metal Sonic Kai, who is, if you've seen Sonic Mania, if you've played Sonic Mania, you'll recognize the design. This is where he originally came from, and he is a rather spooky individual. So we want to aim for this arm. We also want to keep on recollecting rings. So thank you, Mighty, for that. Collecting 1 ring is enough. So we want to consistently get our diagonal flight and then down, which we're seeming to do quite well at the moment. Good timing. Very nice. So now he is armless. What do? We bully him. So he's going to try and shoot some lasers at us. We're not going to take any of that. the laser should... Ooh. Hopefully that ring... Oh, that ring has gone out of reach for us. So that's disappointing. So we're going to play it a little safe. Okay. We can't play it too safe because Mighty has gone. So just a little bit of back and forth with Charmy here. I believe we are not too far away from taking it down. And time is coming up. Sorry for the late notice. And time. So after all of that work that you put in, this game gives you just the biggest slap in the face and says, you destroyed him? Psych. You thought that you destroyed him, and he is wreaking havoc upon the land. So now your task is to go and collect the Chaos Rings to try and rectify the situation, but we're doing bad ending, so this is what we're left with. So yeah, I don't know, Josh, is there anything else that you want to slip in before I say my last goodbyes?
I was very tempted to say no. Yeah, sure. We got a amazing $70 from HHHQ who say, open your door for a surprise?
I hope it's a pleasant surprise. And I hope I can... I hope I can... I probably need to take my headphones out. Yes. Whoa!
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy birthday! All the way around.
So, ESA, thank you very much for having me. And that's all right. And this has been a very good time. So I'm gonna blow out my candles. Don't want any smoke things going on. So this has been a very good run to show off on my birthday. Thank you for any birthday wishes. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this, I'm afraid not every stream that I do is going to be quite as eventful as these lot turning up in them. But if you enjoyed my talking, my ramblings, then you can find me on twitch.tv/Hibnotix, or you can find me on Twitter at the same handle, Hibnotix. And very much thank you to the HHHQ, and over to Flying Fox with Sonic CD next. See you around, folks.
Yeah, thanks, Hibnotix. Great surprise at the end. But yeah, that's right. Coming up next, Sonic CD by Flying Fox.
Offline.